Hello everybody, and welcome back, or welcome to my YouTube channel. It is me, Draig. Also, just for anyone's information, Draig is a Welsh word meaning dragon. So, for today's video, I'm just chilling. I'm holding the microphone and I have my phone, and I am going to be talking you through my Letterboxd. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what Letterboxd is, allow me to explain. So I didn't actually know what Letterboxd was either until I watched a YouTube channel by Mercurial ASMR. She did a video on her YouTube channel about Letterboxd, and I was like, that is an app that I need. So basically it's like an online journal where you can keep track of the movies that you've watched, and you get to leave a review and a star rating, and you get to, upload that to your Letterboxd. So I have it on my phone, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have the images of the movies that I'm talking about up on my screen every time I check them out. I'm trying to find out how I can access my account name so that you can follow me on Letterboxd. Oh, okay. So my account name is I am Draig. Focus. God damn it. It's not focusing, but it's I with a capital I, a capital A, M, and then a capital D, and Draig. I am Draig. So I'm gonna go to my diary. Here we go. So what it does is it keeps track of all the movies you watched and when you watched them. So the most recent movie I watched was in January of 2026, and it was The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill But Came Down a Mountain. So I gave this movie a 5-star review. I thought this film was absolutely brilliant. My review of the movie says, "What a fantastic film, entertaining, funny, and well made. One of those films that makes you say, I'm proud to be Welsh." It has Hugh Grant in the movie, as well as that Irish actor. What's his name? His name escapes me. He was in what's that show? He was in Gangs of London. He's been in loads, man. What was his name? I can't remember, but he was in it anyway. I've got to hold my phone like way far away from the mic, otherwise the mic picks up the interference from the phone, which is annoying. But the movie came out in 1995, so it's a bit of an oldie. But it is fantastic. It's a sort of comedy movie, I would say. Does it actually tell me? Okay, it's a romantic comedy, apparently. Okay, directed by Christopher Monger. But yeah, it's fantastic. So I gave that one a 5-star. Then in December 2025, I watched a movie called Troll 2. Wow. By the way, this video might contain contain some spoilers, so just pre-warn you in advance that my reviews might contain spoilers. But this movie, I gave it a 1 star. The movie itself was directed by Raw Uthaug, or Uthaug, not sure how to pronounce that name. But my review said, well, this film annoyed me. The main female character, in brackets, the blonde woman, literally woke the troll up. Then the other woman, in brackets, brown hair, literally stopped them from killing it, and somehow both women were the good guys. What? They were the reason the troll was roaming Norway, killing people. And then underneath, stupid film. I mean, the concept of the film itself was kind of dumb. It was kind of stupid. Like, the whole movie could have been avoided if the main characters weren't stupid enough to wake the troll up. And even though they woke the troll up and then the troll went on a killing spree, they somehow were the heroes of the story. I don't know, that didn't make sense to me. But yeah, I really didn't like the film. It was rubbish, to be honest. So I gave that film a 1 star. I watched the first Troll movie. I'm not sure if I've actually put that in my app. But I watched the first one and it was, it was okay. It wasn't good either, but it was okay. But I felt like the second one was even worse. So yeah. By the way, not every film I've ever watched I've, put on my diary. It's just, some of the movies that I could think of. So then in November of 2025, I watched The Rats, A Witcher Tale. The interference is really annoying me. So yeah, I watched The Rats, which is a spin-off movie for The Witcher, and it's about the group The Rats. If you haven't watched The Witcher TV show, or you haven't read the books, then obviously you're not going to know who the Rats are. But they're this very unlikable group of annoying teenagers, basically. So I watched the movie, and I gave it a 1 star. I will read you the review, okay? And like I said, spoiler alert for all of these reviews, just as a precaution. But my review said, terrible, just terrible. Right at the end of the film, one of the characters calls shotgun on the wagon. Calling shotgun is a term that originates from the Wild West, when shotguns were actually a thing. The Witcher is set in the 1200s, and no shotguns. Terrible, sloppy writing, deviating from the book, as usual. Bad costume design and average acting, as I said. Terrible. So yeah, right at the end of the movie, when they're getting on this wagon, one of the characters calls shotgun. So for anyone who doesn't know, usually when you get in a car or something like that, someone will say shotgun, and that means, that they're announcing that they are going to get in the passenger seat or up front. And like I said, the term originated from the Wild West, when, they used to drive wagons, and you would have a man up front on the wagon next to the driver who would have a shotgun. So the fact that they used that term in The Witcher, even though The Witcher is set in the 1200s, when, they're still using swords, it was so stupid. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I gave that a 1 star. Then I have, in November 2025 as well, I also have Frankenstein, the newer movie directed by Guillermo del Toro. This was quite a long movie. I think 3 hours long or something like that, but I gave this film a 5-star. I thought it was actually really good. It was well made. It was very, what's the word? It was very visually beautiful, I guess. I'll read you my description. It says, "This film was brilliant. It was a grotesquely fantastic masterpiece by the great Guillermo del Toro, providing us with a great cinematic rendition of Mary Shelley's classic. Definitely recommend." The acting was really good. The movie's version of Frankenstein was very good as well. It was just really well made, and it was a great way of, portraying the book. So I really liked that. Then in October of 2025, I watched a movie called Salvable, directed by Johnny Machetta and Bjorn Franklin. And it was a movie about a boxer. It says, when a battered boxer past his prime finds his dreams and his relationships on the ropes, he falls back in with a dangerous crowd and has to take the biggest swing of his life to reclaim his hope and his family. So I gave that film a 4-star. My review said, "This film is good, a gritty, real-life drama. I won't talk about Shia LaBeouf's Irish accent, cough, not good, cough. But overall, this film was enjoyable with a good story. The acting was good too, nothing over the top." So yeah, Shia LaBeouf is in the movie, and he plays an Irish character. So obviously, during the movie, he has this Irish accent, which is not the greatest, if I'm honest. But anyway, that's that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a movie, so, you gotta keep that in mind. Then, in October as well, I watched The Conjuring Last Rites, the conclusion to the Conjuring movies. I gave this one a 5-star. I really enjoyed this film, actually. My review says, "Well, this film was a brilliant conclusion to the Conjuring films and a great farewell. As persistent throughout the film series, this one was equally scary. The atmosphere was creepy, and I thoroughly enjoyed it." The Conjuring movies are good horror movies. If you want to watch a film, like a horror movie that's gonna, have good atmosphere and, good scary moments and stuff like that, give you a bit of a spook, then the Conjuring movies are reliable for that. And I think that The Conjuring: The Last Rites was a nice kind of conclusion to the films, and I think it was good. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was what you would expect kind of from a Conjuring film, from a horror movie, you know what I mean? I might add as well, I should add that when you review a movie in this app, when you give it 5 stars, you can also give it a heart as well. So in my head, if I give it 5 stars and a heart, then it's like really good. So for example, The Englishman, who went up a hill but came down a mountain, I gave that 5 stars and a heart. Just so you're aware. Then I also watched a film called Good Boy, which is a horror movie from the perspective of a dog. As soon as I read about that, I was like, I have to see this film. And I gave this movie a 4-star. And here is my review. This film is ... okay. There were a few creepy moments. It was, however, really cool and different to see a horror film from the perspective of a dog. That said, which was the name of the dog, really is a good boy. He definitely deserves deserves an Oscar, or at least a big bone. The film itself was good. You know, like I said, it was interesting to actually watch a film from the perspective of a dog. It was quite new, you know. A lot of the horror movies, when you watch them, they're just the same thing. They're like very predictable. But to actually watch a movie from the perspective of a dog was unique, and it added something new to the film as well. The horror aspect wasn't anything unique. It was, you know, kind of generic. There were some, you know, nice creepy moments in there, which was cool. But that's why I gave it a 4, because it wasn't like, wow, you know, must watch again or anything like that. Then I watched a movie called Steve, which was with Cillian Murphy, the man, the myth, the legend. I gave this movie a 4-star review. My review said, "This film is incredibly hectic all throughout, with an often quick-paced and slightly nauseating, shaky camera. That said, it tells an intriguing, tragic and moving story. Once again, Cillian Murphy delivers an extremely powerful performance, further solidifying himself as a truly outstanding actor." So I think the only reason for me that the movie didn't get a 5-star was that the storyline was very, very hectic all throughout. And it was kind of filmed as though it was like a documentary, so it was meant to feel like someone was holding the camera, you know, and because of that, a lot of the time it was very shaky and very like kind of fast-paced. Oh, look, there's a person, oh, there's another person, then it was looking down and then it was up, and because of that, when you're watching the movie, it just felt a little bit kind of nauseating, and I just felt a bit dizzy. Speaking of dizzy, I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm squinting trying to read this little tiny writing. That's better. Oh look, you can see me twice. Anyway, carrying on. So yeah, but of course Cillian Murphy once again delivered a really, really fantastic performance. His acting was spot on. Really, really good. Then I watched a film called Heads of State, and I gave that movie a 2-star. It's featuring Idris Elba and John Cena. My review of this movie was supposed to be somewhat funny, so, you know, apologies in advance. But the description says, my review says, I mean, it said John Cena was in this film, but I didn't see him. If you get the reference, you get the reference. In all seriousness, a woman dodged a bullet fired from behind her within the first 5 minutes, so I knew I was in trouble. It's just your typical goofy, over-the-top action film. So yeah, there's a scene at the beginning where there's a woman and a character is behind her with a gun, and he aims the gun and he shoots at her, and she dodges the bullet. And I just, as soon as that happened, I was just like, okay, it's that kind of film. So yeah, I didn't enjoy that whatsoever. Then next was The Ballerina. Oh, sorry, just Ballerina. I gave this film a 4-star. It's featuring Ana de Armas. It's a spin-off movie for the John Wick franchise. My description said, it was your typical vengeance storyline, but it was incredibly entertaining to see Ana de Armas fucking people up. Great action and a nice spin-off to the John Wick movies. I quite like Ana de Armas. I think she's a pretty good actress, and she's been in some real good movies like Blade Runner, for example. And she was very entertaining in this film as well. I mean, that's the main, you know, thing about the John Wick movies, is you know that they're just hectic films, and there's just going to be action all the way through. I absolutely loved John Wick 3. I didn't like John Wick 4. I thought John Wick 4 was a bit naff, but number 3 was brilliant, and lots of really good acting and action and choreography and stuff like that. So Ballerina was nice. It wasn't, outstanding, but it was good, so I gave it 4. Then I have Caught Stealing, which I gave a 4.5 stars. Caught Stealing is with Matt Smith, who a lot of people know as Doctor Who, and also it was with that one guy, Austin. Is it Austin? Austin Butler, or something like that. He was in Bike Riders. Yeah, Austin Butler, and it also had Zoe Kravitz as well. So I gave this 4.5. My review said, brilliant. It was very hectic, but in an entertaining way. Never thought I'd see Matt Smith as a punk though, so that was new. Yeah, Matt Smith plays like a punk rocker kind of vibe. He's got this massive Mohican and the leather jacket with the spikes. So, that was a new look for Matt Smith, not one that you're usually used to, but it was still good anyway, so I gave that a 4.5. Then I watched Kes, K-E-S, Kes, which is a film from 1969, so we're going way back with that one. And I gave this film a 5-star. My review said the thick Yorkshire accent may be a little hard to understand, so subtitles are recommended. That said, this film is both wonderful and heartbreaking. It's not very action-packed. It's just about a boy with a pet kestrel, the bird. But it's a very, very good movie. I should wrap it up with some other films real quick. I won't mention all of them. I watched Weapons, which I gave a 4-star. The storyline was quite predictable, but, it was horrific, which is what you want in a horror film, the horror aspect. So there was that. I watched Sinners, which I gave 5 stars, and Heart. I absolutely loved Sinners. I thought Sinners was brilliant. I put as my review, brilliant, proper vampires. None of that glistening nonsense. If you know, you know. It's a sin not to watch this film. You see what I did there? Sinners. Yeah. So yeah, that was a really good film. Leave the World Behind was another film that I gave 5 stars and a heart, made by the same guy who made the TV show Mr. Robot. Really fantastic. My review said, this film is brilliant, the atmosphere is great, and the overall eerie feeling is delivered perfectly. Recommended. Of course, Taxi Driver is there with 5 stars and a heart. Fight Club, which is like my all-time favourite movie, 5 stars and a heart. And we also have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 5 stars and a heart. That's like my favourite Western ever. I think for me, second place is obviously the Good, the Bad, the Ugly. So yeah, so I'm gonna end the video here. I think I did enough, reviews there. But like I said, if you would like to follow me on Letterboxd, you can do so. I'll just pop my name like here. Looks good. And you can go and give me a follow, and you can actually like see my journal of all the movies that I watch and stuff like that. And if you are a movie fan like me and you like watching a lot of movies and writing reviews and stuff like that, I recommend you get Letterboxd as well. It's really, really good. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I recommend that you check out the movies that I watched. did well anyway. But thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and feel free to comment down below your thoughts on the movies that I mentioned. And if you would like to see more videos from me in the future, then feel free to subscribe. And if you would like to support me and my channel further, you can do so via the link in the description, where you can buy me a metaphorical coffee, not a literal coffee. And any and all help towards my channel is massively appreciated. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.